Hey, what's going on, guys? Christian Hanahara here, Planet CHH. It's Freddy Friday. Happy Freddy Friday. Be sure to check out the latest episode of the You Need a Horror podcast, where we just ranked and rated the Michael Myers masks. It was pandemonium. Really fun. Let me know if you guys want to see us end up doing the Jasons and Freddy looks. I think that'd be really fun. But today is Freddy Friday, so I'm not going to BS. We're going to get right into it. It's soundtrack day. One of the greatest things about this franchise, guys, is the soundtracks. To me, it's bar none. This is one thing that I know I can unequivocally say for a fact Jason or Michael can't touch Freddy at. The music from these movies are impeccable. Even the songs that you don't really hear from the movies, but they're on the soundtracks, second to none. It's not even a contest to me. Let's start with the cassette tapes I have. And obviously this is only going to be retro formats because that's all I have. Completely out of order. Here is the cassette soundtrack to Freddy's Dead. This is the music from the motion picture. So this is going to be the songs from the band. You got songs like I'm Awake Now from the Goo Goo Dolls. Everything Remains the Same. Junk Monkeys. You Know What I Mean, Goo Goo Dolls. Remember the Night. Johnny Law. Treat 'Em Right. Chub Rock. All that stuff. Iggy Pop's on here. Fate's Warning. This soundtrack is amazing. I love it to death. There's the inside right there. A picture of Freddy. Say what you will about the movie, guys. I could care less who loves or hates this movie, but the soundtrack is second to none. Now, this is the original score soundtrack, so what you're seeing right here is the actual music from the movie. The actual composition music from Brian May. So that's what this is. So I've got both the music from the motion picture and the actual score. And I always loved this imagery for Freddy's Dead. I wish they would have made a poster of that as well. I love this poster, don't get me wrong, but I always loved that image, and I wish they would have made a poster of that. But that's life, and sometimes you just don't always get what you want. One of my all-time favorite scores, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child, featuring Wasp, Bruce Dickinson, you name it. Chub Rock's on here as well, I think. This soundtrack is to die for. Mammoth, Can't Take the Hurt, which I've covered for my Patreon, as well as Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. Just amazing, amazing music. It doesn't get much better than that. Of course, we've got the Dokken Dream Warriors cassette single. What do you say about that? This actually includes Back for the Attack and Paris is Burning, the cassette version of Dream Warriors. I have a really good cassette player, so these sound phenomenal. Dream Warriors, man. What do I say about that? It's fantastic. It's the best. Now, here again is the, not the music from the motion picture, but the actual score composed for Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, put out by Vera Saraband, however you pronounce it. They did a lot of stuff from the 80s with horror. They were a company, like, I think it was almost the way Alan Howarth described it, because he had a lot of his stuff from the Halloween franchise and etc. he put out on this. This was almost like a mom and pop label. It was not a big label. It was a couple of guys, according to him, that ran this, and they got all the rights to put out like the soundtracks and stuff. So that's really cool. So that is the that concludes my cassette soundtracks. Next, we've got from Death Waltz, the best vinyl company around. This is a Nightmare on Elm Street. They did a fantastic job with the artwork on that. They put out a massive box set that I never picked up, and I kind of regret not grabbing it, to be honest with you. Yeah, so the vinyl, as you can see, the vinyl is the color of Freddy's sweater. It's red and green. That's cool. Charles Bernstein, one of the greatest scores in horror history. I don't think that's very debatable. These are completely out of order, so I've got Easter eggs in here. Who recognizes this? No, this is not the soundtrack to any Nightmare on Elm Street movie. This is the record put up by Tuesday Night, and it's a great record. My favorite song, The Harder You Love, is on here. The harder you love, the harder you fall. My heart's on the line. You got to check it out. It's fantastic music. Tuesday put out an album back in the day. This was 1987, so this was before she was in Dream Master. She then had the song Running from This Nightmare, which I don't know it was ever released on any sort of vinyl or anything. I don't know if it was. I can't find it. It's since been released on Spotify and all that, but this record is good. This is on Spotify as well. Look it up. Check out that song, The Harder You Love. You guys will love it. Okay, this is not Nightmare on Elm Street related at all, but I just wanted to show. Well, let me show this first, because this won't seem so out of place. Thank you, Gabe K. Okel, one of my lovely and generous patron supporters who hooked me up with Freddy's Nightmares. The theme for Freddy's Nightmares is amazing. You got to listen to this. This was put out by Terror Vision, and I believe you could still get this. So, and they did a great job. I did a video all about this, so just look that up. Look up the Freddy's Nightmares vinyl. Type in Christian Freddy Nightmares vinyl. You'll find that. Amazing, amazing, amazing score. Great stuff. And like I said, the main theme is one of the greatest things ever. Now this won't seem so out of place. Another Easter egg. Did you know that the Friday the 13th series got a vinyl release? This is an original. This is from 1988 or 1989. Yeah. Fred Mullen, who ended up coming in to finish Part 7, New Blood, and he also did the score for Jason Takes Manhattan. Fred Mullen did the music for the show. So that's really cool, right? Music from the original television scores. Dream Warriors, Dawkins single. I mean, one of the greatest heavy metal songs of all time for one of the greatest movies from the 1980s. Amazing. How about this? Mark Patton's soundtrack from his Scream Queen documentary. I loved the music for the soundtrack. I love the music for the documentary. I mean, I love the documentary too. I love Mark Patton. He's just an angel to me. I love him. Great documentary, great soundtrack. I loved it. So when they put this out on vinyl, I was like, well, I've got to get that. Next up, one of the greatest of all time, the Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5 vinyl, featuring the hype sticker. I bought this brand new. Actually, this was gifted to me. My wife's mom was at a flea market in Pennsylvania, and she found this from Jive Records, featuring all the greats from Bruce Dickinson, Mammoth, Wasp. Amazing soundtrack. Please listen to it if you haven't. Love this movie. Love this soundtrack. Yeah. And I put my vinyls in the back. That way I can just go, whoop, pull it right out. My amazing UK Freddy's Dead vinyl. This vinyl was only released in the UK from Metal Blade Records, a label that Eddie Trunk actually worked for back in the day, and he was responsible for signing Ace Frehley, his solo career, to them. Vinyl soundtrack to this is amazing. I love it. There's actually I had this in my vinyl player, so the vinyl's actually in the player right now. There's Iggy Pop right there. Amazing score, guys. Goo Goo Dolls when they were a real punk band still. Love it. Oh, that's pretty rare. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, one of the greatest soundtracks of all time. Where do I start? The Sea Hags, The Angels, Go West, The Vinyls, Vinnie Vincent, Invasion, Vigil, Blondie, Love, Hate, and Greg Safan. I mean, Greg Safan did the score for the movie, but they added a track of his on here. This is probably one of the greatest soundtracks ever. Top to bottom, listening to this is like a sonic dream, no pun intended. It's probably the greatest soundtrack from any horror movie ever. I mean, it really is that good. Despite the fact that you don't hear all these songs in the movie necessarily, they're in there, but sometimes they're very, very low. Listening to this top to bottom is one of the most amazing experiences I could give you. It's probably my favorite horror soundtrack ever, period. Go West's Don't Be Afraid of Your Dreams is one of the most cosmically beautiful songs I've ever heard in my life. And last but not least, thanks to my good friend Kaylin, who is going to Texas Frightmare with me this weekend. Are you ready for Freddy? Fat Boy single. What can I say? I love this song. The Part 4 had so much music, they had to put out singles for other songs that were for promotion for the movie because they couldn't fit it all on the vinyl. So here's Fat Boys, You Ready for Freddy? The better version of the two, in my opinion, between this. I'm so glad that they went with this song instead of Nightmare on My Street. Good song, but I much prefer beatbox and the Fat Boys rap style. Much more in your face and aggressive. The music video is fantastic too. So yeah, that is my Nightmare on Elm Street soundtrack vinyl cassette collection, guys. I really hope you appreciated. Excuse me. I appreciate you. I always do this. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you enjoyed that video. Obviously, you know, elephant in the room, I don't have a vinyl soundtrack for Part 2. Maybe I could remedy that this weekend. Maybe I could find a copy at Texas Frightmare. That would be neat. I'd love to finish off my my vinyl collection for Freddy Krueger. So, but I love my soundtracks. I listen to them. I listen to them regularly. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Happy Freddy Friday. Tell me what you're gonna do for me for Freddy Friday. Are you gonna watch a movie? Are you gonna listen to a song for me? You gotta do something for me for Freddy Friday. Hashtag Freddy Friday on Instagram. Tag me in a post if you wear a shirt, if you're watching a movie, all that stuff, guys. I'd love to see it. So thank you guys for watching this video. Love you guys. Peace.